Hello, and welcome to week 12 of Ari on TV. I'm Miss Jess. This month, we're exploring the many ways our UU faith invites us to become a people of imagination. And in today's episode, our friends Gary and Llama Jeff are here to help us imagine a world without COVID. But first, welcome into this quiet place of beauty. We come from busy things. Pausing for a moment for the thoughts that quiet brings. Have you ever seen a telescope? We look through telescopes to see things that are very far away. Things like the moon and the planets in outer space. Have you ever looked through a telescope or maybe even binoculars the opposite way that you're supposed to? It makes things look really, really tiny and far away. And while that's kind of funny, it isn't really helpful, is it? What do you think a telescope or binoculars might have to do with our theme of imagination? Well, imagination can be a lot like a pair of binoculars. It can help us see beyond what is right in front of us, to help us see our current struggles with things like COVID and glimpse a not too far away day when things will be a little more like normal. So today, we're going to use our imaginations to give us hope by daydreaming about what we'll do when we're able to be back together again. Our chalice lighters this week are the Urba family.
We light this chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action.
Hi, Gary and Llama Jeff. It's so good to see you.
Hi, Miss Jess.
Hi, Miss Jess.
What are you two up to today?
I'm just sitting here thinking about stuff.
You are? What are you thinking about?
Not anything, really. Just dreaming.
What? Dreaming in the day? How do you do that?
I don't know. I just let my thoughts float in where they come. It's a really llama thing to do.
So what kind of things are you dreaming about?
Well, right now I'm dreaming about my life, what my life would be when I don't have to worry about getting the virus.
Oh, I can hardly think about that. It makes me too sad.
You don't have to be sad, Gary. You can think about what it will be like after this is over.
Sometimes I do, but then I want the virus to not be real. I want it to go away now.
I understand. I don't like what's happening either. I don't want it to be real either. But you know, Gary, it is real, and it's really happening.
Yes, I know.
We can help each other accept that it's real. We can help each other and get through it. We don't have a choice about living with COVID pandemic, but we do have a choice about how we can act and help.
You're right, Mama Jeff. I don't want to just ignore it and act like it doesn't exist because I know it does. And I need to continue doing things differently, like wearing a mask when I go outside. But maybe if I do, what are you doing? And imagine what life will be like after. It'll make me feel better.
Yes, that's what I was dreaming about. Just now, I was imagining walking in a flower garden with other llamas all together, giving hugs and singing llama songs together in person. And now I'll say hello to every single llama I know, and even meeting llamas I don't know and making new friends.
Oh, Llama Jeff, that sounds wonderful. I can just imagine all that. I'll imagine what I'm going to do in a world without COVID.
Gary and Llama Jeff, that sounds so nice. Why don't you spend some more time with your imaginations? Let's all do some daydreaming and imagining, and then we can tuck those imaginations into our hearts and take them out when we need a daydream and some hope. Maybe that way we can face the reality of this pandemic with just a little bit more resolution and patience, and we'll all make it through together. But for now, our friend Miss Leah is here to help us to remember to use our imaginations.
Bye.
Bye.
Who will I be?
Who will I be?
What will I see
What will I see
in this great world?
in this great world?
Who could be free?
Who could be free?
And what will I build?
What will I build?
What will I find?
What will I find?
My story begins
The story begins
inside my mind.
inside my mind.
Who will I be?
Who will I be?
And what will I see
And what will I see
in this great world?
in this great world?
Who could be free?
Who could be free?
What will I build?
What will I build?
And what will I find?
What will I find?
My story begins
Story begins
inside my mind,
inside my mind.
in my imagination.
My imagination.
What is an imagination? Lucy, do you know what imagination means?
I think imagination is what helps people create new things all the time. Because you can't create new things if you can't imagine what you want them to be.
That is absolutely true, Jacob. Everything human made was an idea first. You know, one of my favorite imaginers in history was Leonardo da Vinci. I loved that he imagined that human beings could fly hundreds of years before we figured out how to do it. And Dr. King is another great imaginer. His speeches about the dream that he had outlined a vision for how people could live better together in this country. It was all about having that vision first and then finding the words to communicate it, and then being inspired to certain actions that would bring it closer and closer to reality. Do you like to make up stories when you play with your magnets or when you play with your babies? That's using your imagination, thinking of stories and characters who are doing things all inside your mind. It's amazing. We have movies playing in our minds all the time. And it's really important to be the director of our movies, to recognize that we can tell ourselves stories that make us feel good or stories that make us feel bad. And we get to choose which thoughts we have. We just have to practice deciding how we use our imaginations. Can you think of something that maybe doesn't exist yet, or that no one has ever seen, but that can make your life better or make the world better for those of us who are sharing it? I would love to know what kind of ideas you have about how the future could be, and that you're already starting to imagine, and that one day all of us will see. Who will I be?
Who will I be?
And what will I see
And what will I see
in this great world?
in this great world?
Who could be free?
Who could be free?
What will I build?
What will I build?
And what will I find?
What will I find?
My story begins
Story begins
inside my mind,
inside my mind.
in my imagination.
My imagination.
Well, that's it for our show this week. I'm sure you're all feeling a bit tired of COVID and want things to go back to normal, just like Llama Jeff and Gary. This week, maybe you'll take some time to do one of these exercises. First, imagine you wake up tomorrow and COVID has disappeared. Draw a picture of what you do first. Or maybe you'd like to write your own description of what you're tired of. or maybe about life with COVID or other life and world issues. You could write about it in your journal, or maybe even turn it into a poem or a song that you share with others. I'd love to hear your song, your poem, or see what you've drawn when you use your imagination. If you want, you can call me or email me, or even send me your drawings and writings in the mail. Can you say the words with me for extinguishing the chalice? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Until next week, wash your hands, wear your masks, and be safe out there. Blessed be my loves.